Have you ever wondered why some people rise from nothing to become financially unstoppable while others, equally talented and hardworking, remain trapped in a cycle of survival? The difference is rarely luck, and it is almost never magic. It is habit. It is discipline practiced when no one is watching. It is the quiet decisions made daily that shape destiny over decades. Financial freedom is not built in one dramatic moment. It is constructed brick by brick through behaviors that compound over time. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. Wealth responds to structure, patience, and intentional action. Those who master their money ultimately master their future. Those who ignore their habits unknowingly surrender control of their lives. If you want to transform your financial reality, you must first transform the invisible patterns that govern your decisions. The first powerful habit that makes people financially unstoppable is clarity of vision. Without a clear financial destination, effort becomes scattered energy. A person who does not define what wealth means to them will forever chase distractions. Clarity forces commitment. It demands that you decide how much you want to earn, what kind of lifestyle you want to sustain, and what legacy you want to build. Tony Elumelu often emphasizes that long-term wealth is rooted in discipline and strategic thinking, and discipline begins with knowing exactly what you are working toward. When your goals are clear, spending becomes intentional. Saving becomes purposeful. Investing becomes strategic. Every dollar gains direction. Clarity eliminates emotional spending because you understand that every impulsive purchase is a vote against your future. When your vision is strong, short-term pleasure loses its power over long-term success. The second habit is living below your means, not as a punishment but as a strategy. Financially unstoppable individuals understand that income does not equal wealth. Many people increase their lifestyle every time their salary increases, yet they never feel secure. True builders of wealth resist this trap. They create margin between what they earn and what they spend. That margin becomes opportunity. It becomes capital. It becomes freedom. Living below your means is not about deprivation, it is about control. It means choosing assets over applause, growth over glamour, and stability over status. Behavioral finance teaches us that humans are wired for immediate gratification, yet the wealthy learn to override this instinct. They delay pleasure so they can multiply results. Over time, this simple discipline creates a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. The third habit is intentional budgeting and expense tracking. Many fear the word budget because it sounds restrictive, but in reality it is empowering. A budget is simply a plan for your money before your money disappears. Financially disciplined individuals know where every dollar goes. They review their spending patterns. They identify leaks. They adjust quickly. Ignorance is expensive. When you fail to track your finances, small daily expenses quietly erode your future. But when you monitor your cash flow consistently, you gain insight. You see patterns. You discover waste. You redirect funds toward investment and growth. This habit alone separates those who control their finances from those who constantly feel controlled by them. Awareness creates authority. And authority over money is the first step toward authority over life. The fourth habit is building an emergency fund before chasing high returns. Many people want to invest aggressively without first creating stability. Financially unstoppable individuals understand that resilience precedes expansion. An emergency fund protects you from unexpected disruptions that could otherwise destroy years of progress. Without this safety net, a single crisis can push you into debt and stress. With it, you remain calm and strategic even during uncertainty. Wealth is not only about growth, it is also about protection. Stability allows you to make decisions from strength instead of fear. When you are not desperate, you think clearly. When you think clearly, you act wisely. And when you act wisely consistently, momentum begins to build in your favor. These habits may sound simple, but their power lies in consistency. Anyone can practice discipline for a week. Few sustain it for years. Financially unstoppable people do not rely on motivation, they rely on systems. They automate savings. They schedule reviews. They treat their finances like a business. Over time, these structured behaviors compound into extraordinary results. Wealth is rarely dramatic at the beginning. It grows quietly. It accumulates silently. But one day, the compound effect becomes visible. And when that day arrives, others call it success, not realizing it was built through small, disciplined decisions repeated faithfully over time. As these disciplined habits begin to take root, something remarkable starts to happen beneath the surface of your financial life. Confidence replaces confusion. Control replaces chaos. Yet this is also the stage where many people falter, because progress creates comfort, and comfort can quietly weaken vigilance. The journey toward becoming financially unstoppable does not accelerate through excitement alone, it advances through calculated courage. The fifth powerful money habit is investing consistently and intelligently, even when emotions attempt to interfere. Markets rise and fall. Headlines create fear and euphoria. Friends offer opinions. But financially disciplined individuals understand that wealth is not built on reaction, it is built on strategy. They invest with a long-term perspective, guided by research, patience, and diversification. They understand the power of compound growth, recognizing that time in the market is more powerful than timing the market. Every investment decision is aligned with their broader vision, not temporary noise. Inspired by the philosophy often associated with Tony Elumelu, long-term wealth builders focus on value creation rather than speculation. They invest in productive assets, in businesses, in innovation, and in opportunities that generate real economic impact. They understand that money should work as hard as they do. Instead of allowing capital to sit idle, they deploy it with intention. They reinvest profits. They study trends. They adapt strategies when necessary, but they do not abandon their principles during moments of uncertainty. This discipline transforms investing from gambling into calculated expansion. Over time, their portfolios become ecosystems of growth, each asset reinforcing the next. The sixth habit is building multiple streams of income. Financially unstoppable individuals refuse to depend on a single source of earnings. They understand that relying entirely on one paycheck creates vulnerability. Economic shifts, corporate restructuring, or industry disruption can quickly erase stability. Instead of fearing this reality, they prepare for it. They develop skills beyond their primary job. They explore entrepreneurship. They create side businesses. They invest in income-generating assets. Each additional stream strengthens their financial architecture. This habit requires effort and resilience, but it also provides freedom. When income flows from multiple channels, pressure decreases and opportunity increases. You are no longer negotiating from desperation, you are operating from strength. Yet here lies the suspenseful turning point that separates those who rise from those who retreat. As income grows and investments expand, a silent enemy appears: complacency. Success can seduce you into believing that discipline is no longer necessary. Expenses begin to rise subtly. Lifestyle inflation creeps in disguised as reward. The very habits that built your stability are slowly neglected. This is the moment that determines whether you will become truly unstoppable or quietly average. Many individuals lose momentum here because they confuse progress with permanence. They assume that what has been built cannot be undone. But wealth without continued discipline is fragile. Financially unstoppable people recognize this danger early. They guard their habits fiercely. They review their financial plans regularly. They reassess risks. They refine strategies. They never allow temporary success to replace structured discipline. Instead of expanding their lifestyle at the same pace as their income, they expand their investments. Instead of increasing liabilities, they increase assets. They remain students of finance even after achieving milestones. They understand that growth requires maintenance. Just as physical strength declines without training, financial strength weakens without consistent management. The seventh powerful habit is cultivating a growth-oriented mindset toward money. This habit may appear intangible, but it is foundational. Wealth builders do not see money as scarce or elusive, they see it as a tool that responds to value creation. They invest in financial education. They read books, analyze markets, and learn from mentors. They reflect on mistakes without allowing failure to define them. Every setback becomes data. Every loss becomes a lesson. This mindset eliminates fear of calculated risk because learning becomes more important than temporary discomfort. When challenges arise, they respond with curiosity rather than panic. Behavioral finance research repeatedly confirms that emotions are the greatest threat to financial progress. Fear leads to selling too soon. Greed leads to reckless decisions. Impatience leads to abandoning long-term plans. The disciplined investor develops emotional control as intentionally as financial strategy. They build rules to protect themselves from impulsive actions. They automate investments to reduce hesitation. They create clear criteria for decision-making. In doing so, they reduce the influence of emotional turbulence. At this stage in the journey, you begin to realize that financial freedom is not a single achievement but an evolving process. Each habit reinforces the next. Clarity fuels discipline. Discipline supports investing. Investing strengthens income streams. Multiple income streams provide resilience. Resilience sustains confidence. Confidence encourages continuous learning. The cycle becomes self-reinforcing. But only if you remain vigilant. Only if you refuse to allow comfort to replace commitment. The question now becomes personal. Will you sustain these habits when no one is applauding? Will you continue investing during uncertain seasons? Will you resist the temptation to inflate your lifestyle prematurely? The suspense is not about whether wealth is possible, it is about whether discipline will endure. Financially unstoppable individuals choose endurance over impulse. And in that choice, their future quietly expands beyond limitation. The final stage of becoming financially unstoppable is not marked by luxury, applause, or public recognition, it is marked by internal transformation. At this point, money is no longer a source of anxiety but a tool of influence and responsibility. The habits you have built begin to shape not only your bank account but your character. You start thinking in decades rather than days. You measure success not by possessions but by impact. This is where financial discipline matures into financial leadership. True wealth builders understand that the ultimate purpose of money is not consumption but contribution. When your finances are stable, your decisions become more courageous. You can invest in ideas that matter. You can support causes that uplift others. You can create opportunities that extend beyond your personal benefit. This philosophy echoes the entrepreneurial mindset often associated with Tony Elumelu, who emphasizes Africapitalism and the belief that private sector investment can transform communities. Whether you are building a global enterprise or strengthening your household finances, the principle remains the same: wealth carries responsibility. Financially unstoppable individuals see themselves as stewards, not merely earners. They recognize that sustainable wealth must be ethical, productive, and forward-thinking. This awareness shapes how they allocate resources. They prioritize ventures that generate value, create employment, and solve real problems. Their ambition expands beyond accumulation toward legacy. However, even at this advanced level, the journey is not free from challenge. Economic cycles fluctuate. Industries evolve. Technologies disrupt traditional models. The financially disciplined person does not fear change, they prepare for it. They diversify investments across sectors and asset classes. They continuously upgrade their skills to remain relevant in shifting markets. They maintain liquidity for emerging opportunities. Adaptability becomes a strategic advantage. Instead of resisting change, they study it. Instead of complaining about disruption, they leverage it. This proactive posture transforms uncertainty into possibility. Another defining trait of financially unstoppable individuals is their commitment to mentorship and community building. They understand that knowledge multiplies when shared. Having learned through experience, they guide others away from common mistakes. Teaching reinforces their own discipline. Mentoring strengthens their networks. Collaboration opens doors to partnerships that amplify growth. Wealth, when combined with wisdom, becomes a force that expands beyond individual capacity. The financially mature individual no longer operates in isolation, they build ecosystems of mutual advancement. Gratitude also plays a powerful role in sustaining long-term success. When wealth increases, entitlement can quietly erode humility. But those who remain grounded recognize that opportunity, timing, and relationships contribute significantly to achievement. Gratitude protects perspective. It reminds you that discipline created momentum, but character sustains it. This mindset prevents arrogance and preserves focus. Instead of chasing validation, financially unstoppable people chase purpose. They align financial goals with personal values, ensuring that growth does not compromise integrity. As your financial habits strengthen, something deeper unfolds. You begin to experience freedom in its truest form. Freedom from constant worry about bills. Freedom to decline opportunities that conflict with your principles. Freedom to design your schedule intentionally. Freedom to invest time in relationships and health. This freedom is not accidental, it is engineered through years of disciplined behavior. Every budget reviewed, every unnecessary expense avoided, every investment made with patience has contributed to this autonomy. The compound effect is no longer invisible. It is evident in your stability, confidence, and choices. Yet the journey never truly ends. Financial mastery is a lifelong practice. Markets will continue evolving. Personal goals will shift. New opportunities will demand evaluation. The habits you have cultivated must remain active. Clarity must be revisited. Budgets must be updated. Investments must be reviewed. Income streams must be optimized. Learning must continue. Complacency remains the only true threat. As long as discipline endures, growth remains possible. Reflect on where you stand today. Perhaps you are just beginning, struggling with debt or inconsistent income. Perhaps you are progressing steadily, building savings and exploring investments. Or perhaps you have already achieved stability but seek expansion. Wherever you are, the path forward is defined by daily behavior. Financial transformation does not require perfection, it requires persistence. Choose one habit and implement it consistently. Track your progress. Adjust when necessary. Celebrate small milestones. Allow momentum to build gradually. Remember that financial independence is not reserved for the fortunate few. It is accessible to those who commit to structured action. The 7 powerful money habits are not secrets hidden from ordinary people, they are disciplines available to anyone willing to practice them. Your background does not determine your destiny. Your habits do. Each disciplined decision is a vote for the future you desire. Each intentional action strengthens your foundation. Over time, these choices accumulate into unstoppable momentum. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.